In the serial disappearances case?
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. And I told the director everything right away. She was completely... But she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to... The merchant was furious, berated us for going back on our word, and threatened to sue us for damages. I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe and it wasn't my fault. But things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up, and then suddenly the director told us all to leave the city one day. I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything. Yeah, I got Aurelie killed.
Hey, don't say that.
You traitor! You knew Aurelie was in danger! What do you mean, you were afraid? This was a life and death situation. How could you be so stupid?
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Yeah, listen to him!
Stay calm? How can I stay calm? This guy got Aurelie murdered, and he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show!
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. In my life. So I can meet the director and apologize to her.
Get out of my sight! Go! Get lost!
That's enough! You've screamed and shouted at each other for long enough. Now pipe down, both of you! Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the troupe? You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life. How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to venture...
You're right. I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention. And you're all used to seeing the director, but in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. I can tell what she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters. To shield you all from the storms that... I understand why you're trying to make her the hero of the story, but...
Yeah.
So think hard about what that means. And then think again about what you hope to achieve by... If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the group is already fractured? But you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? You care too much about Director Aurelie and the home... What are you laughing at? I don't see what's so...
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that, for a moment there, if she'd seen Paulo and Vilmont at each other's throats like that, she...
Really? But she sounded like such a
Of course she was. Even her harshest lectures came from a place of kindness, and it showed.
I'm truly sorry. I really meant for this to be a genuine...
It's all right. Let's save all this for...
So, the ending.
Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really matters. When emotions are running high, think the end of the story needs to focus back on Aurelie herself. She's the true star of the show.
What do you mean?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered items belonging to the victim. If you could find anything that Aurelie left behind, perhaps we can get a better sense of...
You really think that's possible?
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on Aurelie's truth.
No.
Well, we'll leave...
Come, let's pay a visit to the Palais Mermonia. The rest of you, head back to the rehearsal location for now, and wait for our good news.
You want to review some recovered items connected to victims of the serial disappearances case? But, that case has been closed for... Still, since you were the ones who discovered and submitted the evidence in the first place, you don't actually have to submit an application. Okay.
So, this is all O'Reilly left behind. Just whatever she was carrying on her
Hey! It's full of script lines! And sketches too! Looks like they show where the different props should be placed.
Let me take a look. Maybe there's something... Aha! I found something. Looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. If we'd had the chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence proving Vachey's guilt.
Vachey took so many lives.
I guess O'Reilly must have written all of this down in the hope that her... wait, it cuts off. Her handwriting here gets patchier and more illegible by the line. Her final words are... I'll let you read them for yourself.
She was so terrified.